Hey everybody, this is Leah McGrath, and I am the founder of Build Up Dietitians. Wow, we're actually doing this. We are live, and Leah Fleur is going to be asking me some questions, and I'm going to be answering. So, can everybody see me and hear me okay? See, I'm in my office, so you can see a bulletin board in back of me. I have one of my wine glass yolks. They're very convenient if you're at a wine tasting. You can put the wine glass in the yolk. And I've got a bunch of books. We moved about 7 or 8 months ago, so I'm still kind of sorting things out and kind of figuring out exactly where I want everything in this room. So it's sort of a work in progress yet. So here we go. Stand for Science, Build Up Dietitians. Hey, Leah. So Leah's online now, and she's going to be asking me some questions. And you can join in and ask questions if you have them for Build Up Dietitians or if you have them for me. And I will try and answer them live. Hey, Matt, how are you? Awesome. So Matt's here too. Matt and Leah and Kim Melton are the other administrators of Build Up Dietitians. I could not do this without them. They just are so helpful and bring something different to the table. Howdy. And I've never met Matt in person. I've met Leah and Kim, our other administrator, in person, and I hope to someday meet Matt. So Matt is does a lot of work with strength training. He's also our meme master, and he sees patients too, right, Matt? You see patients. I think he does. I'm pretty sure he does. And I know Kim's in private practice, and Leah works with the SNAP program. Yes, Matt sees patients. So I don't see anybody individually because I'm a retail or supermarket dietitian. I'm actually a corporate dietitian, so I don't I don't see patients individually. So and I haven't seen clinical patients in probably about 20 years. So it's been a long time. So let's see, what are some of the questions? So the first question, Leah's, Leah, I can go ahead and go over that one if you want to put the second one up then. But so tell everybody a little bit about myself. Okay, so I have been a dietitian for about 22 years now. So I didn't start off, my first career wasn't in dietetics. I was actually in sales and marketing. I was a headhunter. I worked in restaurants as an event planner. I taught English in Spain. I was one of those classic people who really didn't know what I wanted to do until I went back to school and started taking classes in nutrition. And I always tell people that was kind of like falling in love. I realized how fascinated I was about the intersection between nutrition and health and wellness. My dad was a type 2 diabetic, so I always really understood that connection, but going back to school and really learning about nutrition and science made a huge difference for me. So then after I got my degree in nutrition from the University of Maryland, I applied for an internship like all other dietitians do. And wait, can you see this picture? This is me. Matt will appreciate that because I think he works with veterans. I'm an Army veteran. I did my internship with the U.S. Army, and this is kind of a spoof picture. This is when I was in officer basic training out in San Antonio, and it was probably like July. It was ridiculously hot. We were outside doing a field training exercise. So this is me with my game face on. Don't you love it? And I'm sure it was about 100 degrees outside. And in officer basic, you learn how to do everything to be an officer in the military. So I was an officer and a dietitian. And so I learned how to do land nav and shoot a weapon. So I always tell people that you would be in more jeopardy if I actually threw a spatula at you than shot a weapon at you. But the Army was an amazing internship, and I'm so fortunate to have gone through that. My sister was actually an Air Force dietitian, and she went through the Air Force internship. And my brother actually retired as a colonel from the Army. So we have a lot of military in our background. My dad was a career Army officer, he was a chief warrant officer, so he was career Army as well. So yeah, why did I start Build Up Dietitians? Oh, so I should probably go back. So after being in the Army, I left active duty and I went into public health. And I was a WIC and nutrition director in South Carolina for about a year and a half. And then I got this great job as a retail dietitian. So that was after, my internship, working at Fort Jackson in Columbia, South Carolina as an Army dietitian, public health dietitian, then retail dietitian. So yeah, exactly, Matt. I'm from a very military family. Why did I start Bud and Build Up Dietitians? Well, that started in 2014, and it was a time that I felt like there was a lot of negativity about dietitians. A lot of it was around sponsorship and the academy. I just felt like there needed to be a place where dietitians we could promote each other, we could promote the good things we were doing, and evidence and science-based information, and that's why I started it. I didn't really start out thinking it was going to become a business. It's still not really a business, I certainly didn't start thinking that it was going to have 31,000 people following the page, and that people were going to be following the page from all over the world. It's kind of amazing. Today I got a message from a dietitian in the Philippines. So it's really exciting when I see dietitians responding that are in Mexico or the Philippines, in Europe. So it's become really a lot of fun. Next question, what does it mean to me to build up dietitians? I think it means to, number one, let people know what we do and what kind of education we have. Many people have no idea that we go through internships. They have no idea what kind of classes we take to become dietitians. They don't know what an internship is. They don't know about taking a board exam. They don't know about our experience, continuing education. So that, I think, is part of building up dietitians, is sort of letting consumers and customers and just the general public know, like, what do we do and how do we get to this point? And then promoting science-based information and evidence-based information, and also just encouraging people who are doing amazing things in the world of nutrition. I mean, it's National Nutrition Month, and we're all out there tweeting and posting about nutrition, but every day there's dietitians doing amazing work in food banks, with veterans in the Army, with active duty soldiers and their family, with schools and school nutrition, in hospitals and clinical. I mean, sports nutrition, you name it, we're everywhere, and it's so amazing, and we need to really celebrate that. So hey, Alyssa, thanks for joining in. And what do you do? I'm just kind of curious now. Let's see, what's the next question? What's my favorite thing about Build Up Dietitians? I totally love memes. I am such a meme addict. And I love all the stuff that Matt's doing with memes. And I loved memes before I really started doing them on Build Up Dietitians. And I just think it's a great way to get to be a little sarcastic, a little funny, and they're so shareable. And yeah, Matt does an awesome job with memes. And that's how I first got to know Matt, was because he was contributing some awesome memes. So I'm like, this is somebody I need to remember. So Alyssa works for City Health Department on a wellness initiative. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining in. Let's see. Are we ready for the next question? Let's see. What's been the most challenge? Yes, Matt is the meme master. What's the most challenging thing about Build Up Dietitians? Sometimes the posts that just go crazy, and really kind of keeping a handle on what's going on and what the conversation is. I think like 9 times out of 10, people are very respectful of different opinions, and sort of managing that space. And that's why I really needed help from Leah and Kim and Matt to really kind of handle that, because it was just getting a little bit overwhelming with some of the posts, and it still is. So that's been a little bit challenging. We've had a lot of incidents of people trolling the page and people bad-mouthing the page in other spaces, and really trying not to feed into that, and just kind of one of my favorite military commanders had the best advice for me years ago when I was a young officer, which was do your job first. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing, just do your job first. And so trying not to get sucked into those the mean comments or the people trolling the page. And a lot of people, surprisingly there's actually a page that was formed about a year or so ago called Banned by Build Up Dietitians. And what's kind of funny is there are people on the page who were never banned, and we've actually banned very few people. And I try and get people to leave of their own accord. I don't really want to have to ban people. So where do we see the page going in the future? Well, it's National Nutrition Month, so we are having a Twitter chat next week. I've been doing those for about 3 years on agriculture, so it's Build Up Ag. That'll be Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to do one every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, different themes, but the first one is about agriculture, about how can you learn more about different kinds of agriculture. How can you connect with people? Are you already connected with people in that space? If you're a dietitian and you're working in the agriculture space, we definitely want to hear from you. I put out a call to a lot of my agriculture friends to try and hop on to that chat. Again, that's the 6th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. I was thinking it would be really super cool to kind of highlight different career paths in dietetics throughout the month, and maybe people could share some information about what they do, maybe a picture. So I think I'll probably try and pull up a schedule or something of that. And then also we've had so much fun the past couple of years on Dietitian Day, Registered Dietitian Day. And I have tons of pictures of that people have sent over the years of themselves or their internship class or the other dietitians they work with. So we're definitely going to do that again this year. So just to encourage people to share a photo of themselves at work as a dietitian, and that's how I get to know people from all over the world. So in the more distant future, I'd like to do some things maybe like webinars, more Facebook Lives, so you can get to meet Leah and Matt and Kim and get to know them a little bit more, and maybe get to know some other dietitians in different career paths. I think that would be really helpful for people. I am trying to work on some cool ideas like training, so I can help dietitians learn more about very specific things about biotechnology or agriculture. So that may be in the future as well, some opportunities like that. So, but I'm totally interested to hear what your ideas are too. So if you have ideas on things that we want to do about the page, do with the page, just let us know. We're all ears. We want to be here to kind of grow this page and see what kind of direction. Do you want swag like Build Up Dietitian swag? Do you want stories? Do you want webinars? Do you want Facebook Live? Do you want Twitter chats? I think Leah and Matt and Kim and I are all game to hear what your ideas are. So I don't want to take up a lot of your time today. It's a rainy day here in North Carolina. I've got 2 dogs in the house that probably need to go out soon. And I've got some work to do. We need Bud bumper stickers, webinars, Jennifer says. Okay, so some webinars. Yeah, maybe I can partner up with some people on some webinars. I'm trying to let you all know when I see webinars that I think would be interesting. I'll try and put those on the page as well, so we don't have to recreate the wheel all the time. So I want to tell you how much I really appreciate all of you, and so many of you have reached out to me over the years and contributed ideas and great articles and asked questions. So I really appreciate that. And Heidi, hi Heidi. That's a great idea. How can health professionals work better with dietitians? That's an awesome question. And I think, to start out with, we need to have respect for each other, and we will, but we can certainly work on some initiatives for that. Thanks, everybody.